as you can see behind me, something's not quite right. So the camper's been sitting here for a few days now, and I noticed when we got back from our last trip that it's on a bit of a lean. It is one of the internal poles. There's 6 internal poles that are permanent inside the camper, and I've noticed that one of them's come off again, and it was actually the same pole. It's done the same thing twice. So what I'm going to try and do today, I don't know how well it's going to go, so we'll trial with one that's indiscreet first. I'm going to try and drill through it to see if I can put a bolt and a nut through that to stop it actually pulling out of that little piece that hangs off the camper. So I'm going to give that a crack today, see how that goes. Let's go and have a look and see if it'll fix it. In short, is what it's meant to look like is this. So you've got your little piece that goes into there. It's actually crimped on here, but the crimping hasn't held. And then as a result, that's actually slid all the way in now past here. So what I want to try and do, instead of crimp it like that, I want to try and drill through it and see if it'll hold that way instead. But yeah, quite painful to do anything with that now because the pole is like inside this and I got to get it out. So it's going to be fun. I got my trim tool out, just the right width to get in there and not have too much wiggle, and then give it a nice pull out. So if you do ever get stuck, a trim tool, I've got a metal one here, but a trim tool should be able to get you at least out of the pickle. We're good now, so we're on. I've gone around and given myself like enough gap on all of the poles. You can't see that one, but like that one there and these two here. So I've gone around and given myself enough of a gap there. I'm going to try and probably do it on the one that's stuffed already and see if we can get that any better than that. I love how I'm fighting light, and I've got a camper here with its own lighting. So let's just place you down here. Hope I don't knock it over when I go to drill. And let's see what happens, eh? You're on a mattress too, so it's going to be a bit spongy. I want to get something to cover that up. Let's see how that goes. Alrighty, so it took me a little bit, but long story is that is ultimately what I'm looking for. Hole right through the other side. I'm going to put this little 1/8 bolt through it, and we're going to fix that up and see how that goes. So let's put that in and see how well that goes. It's friggin' warm in here, eh? Actually, I might put you here again, because I think that's a better view. So, give that a bit of a wiggle, because I know it goes through, because the bit just went through. Okay, that's a flathead, so I'm going to go get a flathead screwdriver. Got ourselves a little flathead to try and push this through. Like so. Cool. Put a little flat washer on one end. Now I've got these really tiny, if I drop this I'm screwed, but I've got a really tiny nut. Right. I think it's like 3mm, so what I'm going to try and do is finger tighten it with my hand, but I can feel that screwing in, so that is good. And actually, that particular one, it didn't actually didn't spin on me. So guys, that is pretty much exactly what I wanted to achieve. So I'm super stoked, at least first round, what that looks like. Now I've got to do it to the other 5. Fun times. The things we do for camping, and it's really warm in here. All right, let's do the others. Final is in here. Get that around there, likewise around there. So that's that. We'll tidy up all this in a minute. I'll put the pouch back in and it'll all be good. And then this one's still got the pouch on it, but the same thing, right? 1 and 2, and then around the back, just a little nut on them. Likewise for that one. Likewise for that one. So, guys, that's been a job I've been meaning to do for a while. I think we first noticed the one over there, did it in Monkey Mine back in March. So it's now October. So I did take it back, they did fix it. But now I'm hoping this is the more permanent fix to that problem. And hopefully we don't get that ever again. Yeah, all right, let's tidy up. Let's get this place tidy. Alrighty, recap time. So, as you would have just seen, we've gone through and we've put a couple of bolts through the support poles in here, the telescopic ones. So I end up going with a 1/8 Cobalt drill bit. It's about $8, $9 from Bunnings. The reason I went with that is because it's hardened steel, which is what the little inside of those telescopic poles is. So once I got through that, once I got through the first one, I kind of knew what I was doing. The rest was pretty self-explanatory. I used the one that was buggered just in case, like I snapped the bit or anything like that, I could just fix that one. I didn't snap the bit, so that's a win. I always snap drill bits that are that tiny. So went through and did the first one. I had to take, as you see in the video, I had to take that section, I think it's called a spigot. I had to take that off the side of the camper. Ended up throwing it in the vise, and there was 2 reasons for that. One was because it was flogged out already inside the telescopic pole. I couldn't actually get it to sit there straight while I was drilling through it. And I didn't want to drill through on a bit of an angle, and because the telescopic poles are just aluminium, so it'll flare out a little bit, and then it would almost defeat the purpose of putting this bolt through. So that's point 1. Point 2, what it also allowed me to do is when I put it in the vise and I started drilling through it, what I noticed was there's like a hex head in the middle of that where the crimp lines up to. And when I punched through the first third of that, I got into an open area where that hex head was. And the drill bit actually caught on the edge of that head. And if I'd left it in there, like it actually twisted the bit, and I thought a couple of times through all 6 of those that I was going to snap them. So I put it in the vise. So I slowed the variable speed down on the drill from the 2 to the 1, pushed it through that center bit so I didn't cock the drill bit and snap it. And then once I got through the other side of that halfway point, I put it back onto number 2 on the variable speed on the drill. No hammer drill, just standard drill. And then I pushed through the rest. So what you might also notice is when I was doing those, I was super conscious with how much was going to protrude past the end when it came through. The last thing you want to do, guys, when you're doing that is either put enough force on there that you snap the bit and you go, well, skew in, you scratch or dent something, or the alternative is you go right through it and you hit your canvas or you hit the inside of your van or something like that. No one wants to do that. So a couple of tips when you do that is you can get your drill and you can shorten the chuck. Let's see if I can do it. So a couple of tips when you do that is you can get your drill. Let's go a bit close. You can get your drill and you can loosen your chuck off and you can actually sit the bit in for the measurement that you want, right? Then that way you know that you've got the tip and like so far to go through. And then that way you know once you've hit this point, like wherever it is on your drill, you can mark it, put some tape on it, put some like a Sharpie mark on there. That's what I do when I go through brickwork at home. I put a Sharpie mark around how big the plug is. And then you know once it's spinning around, because you can see it, right? When it's on. So you can see that mark when it goes. And then once you get to that point, you know that you're through. So you know how much more you got left to go, which also allows you to ease up on the speed and ease up on your pressure so you don't push right through, don't go through your canvas, don't go through the side of your camper, and hopefully you have a nice finish, right? If you've got enough space in here to shrink your actual drill bit, which I don't on this, but if you had enough space to shrink your drill bit down to exactly what you need, that's probably the preferred option, just because there's then no way that you can protrude too far past it, hit your canvas, hit your camper, so on and so forth. All right, good little tip. Now all that's done, I'm super happy with how this has come out because now I don't have to worry about my 6 poles getting pushed off by a nice flap of wind underneath the insulation blanket that's there. So she's all good, she's ready to go for the next trip and ready to go for the end of the year trip now, which is magic. Guys, if you liked today's video, just a DIY install, super simple, please like, subscribe, share the channel, get it out there. We're nearly at the 100 mark now. I'm hoping by the time this goes up, we've cracked 100 subs. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I found this off a sneaky camper trailer Facebook page, which is super helpful because this has been annoying me for quite some time now. It has gone back once or twice to Stony Creek already to re-crimp those poles, but now there's no way that they can come off. So super stoked I found an alternative route to do that myself because it's a 1-hour trip up and a 1-hour trip back to drop it off then pick it up. So I would have lost 4 hours if they couldn't do it on site there for me right then and there. And now I think I fixed it better than what they were doing by crimping them anyway. So if you like that, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for sticking around this long, guys. I'm glad you made it to the end of this video. As you can see, we are currently out and about at the moment in the wilderness, which is mint. I love being out here and I love doing this kind of stuff. If you've watched more than one video, please smash the subscribe button for me. We are 30 subscribers short of 200, which is mint. I never thought we'd get this far, but I'm keen to keep moving. So if you've watched more than one video, please hit that button. Show your support. Let's hit the 200 and let's go further. Guys, I've got a quick sneak peek of what's to come in the next video, which I'll turn around here in a second, throw some footage on. Thanks for making it this far, guys. This is what we've got to deal with now. Alrighty, so what have we got? So we've got a Fuel Manager pre-filter kit. Let's see how this goes. Alright, but to see what the full thing looks like, including the install of that into the Ranger, you're going to have to watch the next video that comes out. So guys, until then, I'll see you in the next video. You coming? Come on then.